And we are underway with High Point winning the opening tip. And as we mentioned, the early part of the broadcast, coming off that big win against UCF, the first Power 5 win under Chelsea Banbury, winning that game 64-60. And starting off that game hot was Nariyah Zavala, scoring all 11 of HPU's
capable scorers out there on the floor.
As Collins will go back to retrieve that one, and High Point will set this one up with 12 to shoot. The ball moving here by the Panthers beyond the perimeter as Collins is stuck in a skip pass. That one's deflected away by Foster. Foster going up with the left hand and gets the first bucket of the night for the Governors.
And that's going to be huge for Austin Peay. That transition from defense to offense. It's going to be a great way to get out front early against the Panthers.
And take a look at there in the bottom of your screen, the starting 5 for the Panthers this evening. Looking to remain perfect at home this year, a 4-0 record for the team in all white. Right on the right elbow. First shot is no good, starting 0-1 for the Panthers in the early going. As we take a look at your starting 5 for the Governors. Nyla Nelson, the junior from Columbia, South Carolina, will quarterback this one up. Just inside the paint, trying to power her way in there, just not enough. And a defensive board for the Panthers. Chrissy Weed, Chad Tucker, Octavia Roberts, your officials tonight, and a second chance opportunity for the Panthers as Peay. A turnover inside, and Lawrence going up and putting that one in.
It's great early defense from the High Point Panthers, just getting caught lacking here on defense.
A 2-on-1. How about the patience inside by Samaya Wyatt, your player to watch in the early going there inside.
Well, she's already showing why she's their star player, and what a great find for this coaching staff, and to have somebody to be able to use the size that she has and be able to perform at the level that she has. It's been tremendous to watch.
Second in the conference with a 55% field goal percentage as Zavala on the baseline drive with the right hand and banks that in.
Great job from Zavala, splitting 2 there and using her size to put that one up and in.
Lead as big as 17. UCF was able to come back in later in the fourth quarter to get within 1, but able to hold them off and get that victory down in the Sunshine State.
It came down to the wire in that game, and that was a really bright spot for the High Point Panthers to be able to come through in the end and, really finish in the final half of that game.
10 to shoot for the Governors. And streaking to the basket inside, going up and lays it in. And the Governors will tie this one back up at 6.
It's a great look on the baseline. Wide open, High Point leaving that completely open here early on.
Collins now runs into a wall and streaking to the rim.
They execute.
Trail will throw this one from the baseline as Collins, nice spin move inside. Skips it out in the corner for 3. That one's just off the iron on the 3 by Zavala. Nice cut there by Simmons. Simmons going up. Too strong. And defensive board for High Point. High Point was out-rebounded 39-23 versus UCF. And that contest on Tuesday. Overall, pretty even game that we saw in that matchup. As Collins trying to skip her way to the rim too far. As Zavala trying to put up a second chance shot. That one just not enough. And they will turn this one over, and they will. Back to the way with Terrell. 3 ball from the wing. Too strong, and defensive board by the Governors. Glad to have you here joining us from the Cobain Center. Mike Guerrier, Ford Martin here joining us. Merry Christmas and happy holidays on this Saturday afternoon. Austin Peay 3-6 on the season. High Point 5-7 overall, and a 3 ball from the corner is able to go the first 3 of the night by the Governors. Wide open the corner for three. That one's just off too strong. High Point not really having these three balls go their way in the early going.
And we haven't seen the Governors be too active out on the perimeter. We've seen very active hands and clogging up those different passing lanes on the skip passes, but the shots are just not falling for the High Point Panthers right now, and the Governors are really pushing hard.
Trying to push off Bodie now for three. Got it! A little push off there to create some space and knocks down the triple.
And that was just a great job there, just identifying that she had the room to take that shot.
Zavala had Lawrence inside by herself to get to Zavala in the corner. Good ball movement by the Panthers. That one was deflected on the three. Zavala instead using that link to go upstairs and grab it. But the Governors once again have High Point come up empty and a whistle the other end. To a 17-6 lead. High Point shooting 21% from the field, 78 for Austin Peay, and that's been the difference. Nice cut there by Cater. Inside the paint as they spin this one back. Nice right off the pick and wide open.
But really protect that paint, because that's where the Governors have really wreaked havoc so far in this contest. High Point has done a okay job at guarding the perimeter, but Bodie has been red hot here early on.
2:22 to go here in the first quarter of play, going all the way to the rim and inside. That's exactly what High Point needs, is Baskerville, who had no points in that game against UCF, only played about 4 minutes. She gets High Point, get some points there on that end. Under 2 to play. Off the pick. Thought about it for a second and deflected by Collins, getting a hand inside. But Austin Peay gets it right back with Simmons. 6 to shoot now. Shields for three. That one's just off. And their first three they have missed, starting out 3 for 3. Now 3 for 4 with Collins on the other end. Collins skips her way to the rim and she draws the foul. And 0 for 2, that is for High Point. So Collins draws the foul, but comes up empty from the free throw line. And the lead will remain at 9 for the Governors. With Shields and driving to the rim, patient underside with Terrell in her face and making it difficult inside as Baskerville set this one up. Terrell trying to show off the range. He's got it in the first three-pointer for the Panthers.
That's exactly what High Point needed to be able to kickstart themselves back into this game. They needed something, a little spark to start the fire, and it might be that three right there from Nakia Terrell.
Ten to shoot with 45 to play here in the first quarter. Shields, skip pass in the corner, finds Simmons, pump fake for three, got it! Nariyah Simmons in the corner, and Austin Peay continues to be impressive beyond the arc.
They have dominated around the perimeter, been able to move the ball at a very high clip, and have just found a lot of good looks and a lot of different holes in this High Point defense.
Austin Peay not giving it anything too easy for the Panthers with Terrell. 10 to shoot with 2 seconds separating the shot clock and the play clock. Point finding themselves down 9. Shot clock turned off with 10 to play. Instead, they get the last possession here. Baskerville has some space going up and gets that one to fall with 3 seconds to go. If Austin Peay can get off a half-court shot, lays that one up. And back at some of the first quarter stats here so far, and really the big difference maker, Austin Peay, 4 for 5, 81% beyond the arc right now, or 80% that is. High Point 1 for 8, 13. Austin Peay has been solid in their three-point shooting thus far in front of this High Point crowd. Eight to shoot. Got to put it up here with 3 to left, and the baseline drive floats this one up the side of the backboard, and a shot clock violation for the Governors.
Active hands continuing to apply pressure, and they get the ball back. This is a good start for this High Point Panther team that really came out flat in that first quarter.
Collins now Had nothing there. Skips it down to Zavala. Zavala off the right hand. Can't get it there, and a swarm of black jerseys is there to pick up that rebound. Had a chance at it, just couldn't finish. It's Foster, the ASUN's reigning freshman of the year. With 15 to shoot here for the Governors. Off the pick to Burrell. And from three, they've been dynamite from here, but that one's just too strong. And the defensive board by Zavala. Collins to Zavala, who set this one up. Baskerville, nice pump fake. Baskerville with the right hand and lays that one in.
It's a great hesitation from Baskerville to recognize that there was a sliver of space open on the inside. She found it and secured a basket for High Point, decreasing this lead once again, clawing their way back. They just got to get it done on both ends of the floor.
Finding themselves down by 5. In the corner, wide open for three now. Got it! Nariyah Simmons from three. And she remains perfect on the day beyond the perimeter. Wide open now, Terrell from the key for three. That one's off. And the struggles beyond the arc continue for the Panthers. And a traveling violation for Austin Peay. Phoenix, Arizona started the season off hot, named the Big South Freshman of the Week in her first week of her rookie season. And 5 points in that matchup against UCF on Tuesday. So big loss to this High Point team that's finding themselves again down by 10 with Austin Peay pretty much controlling the start of this one here so far.
And when we talked to head coach Chelsea Banbury, she was very, very positive on the fact that this freshman has found, really hasn't hit that yet, and I really don't envision an opportunity where it will happen.
Three off the inbound with 5 to shoot. Again, Austin Peay draining that shot clock as long as they can. 3 minutes left here in the first half of play inside the Cobain Center. Skips us back out and a whistle.
Really find a groove and try to shift some of this momentum in their favor. The Governors have just been able to wreak havoc in every facet of this game so far.
As Mude getting some time here for the first time for the Governors. Right side for Wyatt. Wyatt now goes up. Not enough in there. Too much traffic with High Point there, as they've been pretty much these jumpers that we've seen from Austin Peay early on, giving them to him a little too easy. It's the sort of pressure and adjustments that Chelsea Banbury will give to her team. 13 to shoot now from the corner for three, and airballs that one. The shot there by Hager. Just nothing coming together for this Panthers team. And definitely not the team that we saw on Tuesday night that was firing on all cylinders. Inside going out Foster. And off the inbound, puts it through. Don't forget to join us for the Jersey Mike's halftime report, going over the first half of play, stats and highlights, and going around the league. At the conclusion of this first half, Lawrence inside. Kiss back out to Hager. Had a chance to take that shot, chose not to, and dished it back out. 10 to shoot here with 90 seconds left. Terrell, 5 to shoot now. Hager runs into a stone wall. Inside for Lawrence, lost that one, turns it over. With Nelson. Now Simmons for a three. Got it! Nothing but net for the Governors, and Simmons knocks that one down for the wing.
It's an unbelievable defense to offensive play. The Governors using that baseline as an extra defender and then pushing transition, finding that open three, getting High Point's defense confused and just being able to knock it down. They have been red hot since the start of this game, right from the get-go.
Minute to play now. From the corner now from three. I like what she's seeing from her Governor squad.
And they've done a really good job at creating mismatches. They pushed Nakia Terrell down low and put her on Wyatt. That's a tough matchup for her.
Lobs this one up. Scott, not enough on that one. Just not the High Point team that we know. As the Governors now with Foster. Inside. Oh, nice dish inside of the streaking Wyatt. Just couldn't get that one to go through. And off transition is Scott. She'll pause on the fake there again by Lawrence. And ripped away again. And the Governors have High Point come up empty. 5 seconds left. Pops it back out for three to beat the buzzer. That one's off the iron. Put it up in time. No, but a little block there by Lawrence. Well, I know that Austin Peay, no jet lag being shown after that contest at California. I know it would bother me a little bit, but High Point and Austin Peay showing no problem here in the first half, and what a start for the second half. And Collins,
you can just see it on her face as she once again misses from the stripe. Has not found success there, but she's been a bright spot for this High CF win as well.
Mike, you mentioned about minutes there, and Elia Collins, 38 minutes versus UCF, 5 minutes more than any other player on this High Point Panthers squad. So switch sides, Austin Peay on the left side of your screen with 12 to shoot now, as that one's deflected. This second half, after their last two contests, close matches, and that loss against Stetson, and their little tour through the Sunshine State, back here at home. The last matchup came in that win against Winston-Salem State. As Lawrence now at the key with 15 to shoot. Collins able to pick that one up. Trying to create some space inside. Underneath the basket, tries to throw it up. Gets her own rebound. Back out for Terrell. Terrell inside, trying to thread the needle. Spins back outside for Collins. That may have tipped it en route. And a whistle. That basket will not count.
Against this Governors defense, they are quick, they are pesky, and they are looking to perform.
Foul be called on Shayna Pashish. That is her first of the night. Governors looking to notch their third road win of the season inside the Cobain Center as Foster skip pass back out in the corner on a baseline drive as dishes went back out to Foster for three. Got it! And again, Austin Peay showing off the range tonight from three.
Over 50% from three. They've been dominant so far.
And that's been one of their weaknesses this season. Only shooting 30%. It's Collins now. Oh, nice dish inside for Lawrence. Lawrence tries to go up, and she draws the foul on Foster. Down, Lawrence and the 79% free throw shooter from Idaho and the 5'10 senior. 8 minutes. And this one in the third quarter is tried to rush that one there with Pashish. Simmons from the left side. Sutter steps back out. The bounce pass out fine to Foster. Foster loses that one with Collins. 5 to shoot. All alone the corner for three again. Got it! It's a 3-point shootout and party for Austin Peay this afternoon. Collins now. Skips back at it. Oh, nice left-handed hook shot there by Collins. But Austin Peay from three today. Wow. Simmons back to Cater. Inside with the right hand, and she'll draw the foul. And they're going to call this one up at Simmons. Simmons at 12, Foster at 10. Seven minutes to go here in the third quarter to play. With Lawrence. Going to take the three herself now. That one's just off, and the woes from three continue for this High Point team. Now going 1 for 14. Again, oh, nice pump fake there by Simmons. It dishes inside, but a good play by High Point, getting a hand inside there on that pass with Terrell. On the near side. Spins back out and had a hand on that one, and another High Point turnover. On transitions with Cater. A 2-on-1 with Bodie. Cater going to go up with the left hand, and she lays it in.
It's been another bright spot for the Governor squad. Points off of turnovers, pushing transition, and finding success on the other end.
Collins just turned around and passed that as Foster was inside. Back out for Collins. 6:10 to go inside the Cobain Center. Mike Guerrier, Ford Martin on the call tonight on ESPN Plus, the Saturday afternoon matchup. Austin Peay in all black, High Point in all white. Again, Austin Peay now for three. That one's off, and a rare three-point miss by the Governors. Now going 6 for 11 beyond the perimeter. Collins now, nice cut inside, and a dish back in for Baskerville. And Baskerville puts her at 8 on the afternoon. She had 0 points in her last 3 games, and now Baskerville leading the team with 6.
Three-point look has gone in for the High Point Panthers today, and shooting a whopping 6.7% from beyond the arc, and that certainly is not going to cut it against an A-Sun opponent in Austin Peay.
As you mentioned, 1 for 15 beyond the arc here, and that's really been the difference maker, just the amount of energy and momentum that Austin Peay carries off these three-point jumpers. And Foster right at the free throw line, extending their lead, and it's a stunned High Point crowd.
8 for 14 from three-point land for the Governors. I mean, it's really hard to catch them in a bad spot here.
And Baskerville gets her in the double figures now at 10. With 4:40 left in the third quarter inside. The turnover back inside, and right there again, going up, Samaya Wyatt. Just back outside and on transition, all alone, taking her way up. Foster and Collins inside as that one's knocked away.
Through the early portions of her young career with the Governors, a very defensive-minded coach, finding a lot of success on the offensive end today.
Bodie gets down the left elbow, and a little contact there with Wyatt. 10 to shoot. Something Austin Peay has done all day, milking that shot clock. Inside for Wyatt, a swarm of white jerseys there, and she'll draw the foul. Peter knocks down both. 47-26, their biggest lead of the afternoon. Terrell, inside bounce, along with Emma Larios. And Terrell off the pass with Baskerville. And one. So strong move of the game, brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Foster and Simmons leading the way on the point category. 17 for Foster, Simmons at 12. As the fourth quarter begins inside the Cobain Center, High Point finding themselves down by 13. And do they have a miracle left in them after Austin Peay has strong-armed this one all afternoon? High Point's only led at 9 seconds. That was early in the first. And a driving. Their last matchup on Tuesday at UCF, they had a lead as big as 17. That one was swallowed away, but High Point able to hold their composure. And remember, they had a tight one against Stetson the match before, and then a tight one, obviously, against UCF. Scott now inside, who's brought that physicality and emotion for the Panthers. She had that and one opportunity, and that three-point jumper in the. Terrell lost it on the way up. And defensive board again by the Governors in Foster. Out the corner, and Austin Peay, as we've been mentioning, Mike, just taking their time here. No rush whatsoever. Inside, and a whistle is called.
Today's matchup, right off the plane, onto the court, all bigs.
As you see, Brittany Young there in her fourth year at Austin Peay, 57 and 47 overall as her tenure as a head coach. Is Scott now for three. Got it! Scott, her last three-point jumper was able to go, and she's got High Point now within 10. And a little bit of energy that Scott has brought into this team. I'm not out of the woods yet.
Running out, but a Christmas miracle could be under the tree for the High Point Panthers.
We saw Santa in attendance tonight. Right now, High Point on a 7-0 run over the last 4 minutes and a 13-3 run over the last 5:38. See if we got a little Christmas miracle inside the Cobain Center as Foster. Nice jumper from the elbow. And now in the run for the Panthers. Scott with the hot hand. Oh, good dish inside. Skip out to Scott. A fake for Lawrence. Zavala. Seeing a little physicality and emotion and tempo for the Panthers now. It's in to shoot. Gonna put up a three from the wing. That one just off the iron, and a offensive rebound by Zavala. Trying to thread the needle to Terrell, but she draws the foul. All the momentum starting to carry to the High Point side, and just as we mentioned that, turns that one over. And the speeder and Simmons. Foster now for three. That one's off with Scott on the defensive board. Throws this one on transition to Collins. Collins is knocked away as Foster got a hand on that one. The transition for the Panthers.
Foster closed the gap quickly here, and all ball knocks that one away. Super physical defensive play.
So they're going to sub in Bodie here, and she'll come in here now for Simmons. As you see Foster there on that big block.
Career high, like you said, single digits, a little bit of momentum, a little bit of life back in the Panthers. But the Governors have just been able to witchery, or there could be coal in the stocking for the High Point Panthers.
We had Santa here already, so we'll see if he's got a little tricks up his sleeve here for this High Point crowd tonight. 53-44. There's Wyatt. Too strong, and Baskerville's there to pick that one up. Terrell. 4:42 to go. It's an antsy High Point crowd now, trying to see their Panthers currently on a 5-0 run. Larios now for three. That one's airballed. And notice let that one. And there's that full court press we talked about earlier as they skip that one back out to Cater. Inside for Wyatt with the right hand. Just that one to go. Back out the double figures, an 11-point lead for Austin Peay. Looking to pull the upset against this Panthers home crowd. Lobs this one back out for Terrell. A non-conference finale. High Point will go off and start their Big South slate against Radford in the new year. As going to the rim is Lario. She's fouled 25% from the free throw line. And back the other way is Austin Peay will able to cover that one out. And we'll see if they go back to bleeding this clock. And a 10-point lead after that free throw by Larios and the freshman from Asheville, North Carolina. Left elbow. Foster now for three. That is good. Foster and a big-time three from the wing extends the lead for the Governors. What can High Point draw up here with 3:20 to go? They got it within single digits. Can they do it again for three? And that one's airballed in the corner by Terrell. And just when you thought High Point had all the momentum on their side, Austin Peay didn't get too flustered. Able to hold the lead here with 3 to go. Now this on the floor and a whistle, and they might call this one on. Lars will head back home for the first time in a good bit. December 28th versus UT Southern. Collins for Wilkes, inside for Baskerville.
Inside, there hasn't been very many open looks down there, and it's been a large portion of their turnovers today.
In the corner for Cater. With 2:39 to go, and High Point, they need a big strike. and a big spark to get back into this one here. And Mike, are you surprised there's not as much pressure we're seeing from High Point here as they knock down the three, but they'll go the other way.
Large part in, them putting it all out there today. And, this is not really how you want to perform when you get a little bit of a break and then you come right back home and you go into conference play.
Scott now for three. And that one's off. She's hit her last two. Comes up empty on that one. And Austin Peay trying to pull off an upset of their own. Coming over from the Tri-Star State of Tennessee. And just bleeding this clock out. 10 to shoot for Nelson. Fadeaway jumper, not there. Defensive rebound. And now Baskerville on the board by Wilkes. See if High Point can pick up the tempo here a little bit now. Force inside the paint, turnaround shot by Wilkes going up. And she'll draw the foul. And that one's just off. So again, 0 for 4 for her this afternoon. And it's been a struggle from the free throw line for the Panthers today. .117 to go, and unless we see a miracle from Santa himself, Austin Peay is going to come in here to the Cobain Center and stun this High Point crowd. As Terrell will pick that one off. High Point 5-7 on the season. Got to start putting some shots up right here, draining a lot of clock. Baskerville. That one's rejected away by Foster. That's something she's been doing all night. And a nice spin move there by Cater as Austin Peay is going to come in to the Cobain Center. And a little Christmas gift of their own. And a bit of surprise as High Point, after all the momentum from that big UCF win and her first Power 5 winner, head coach Chelsea Banbury, defeating UCF 64-60. They're going to suffer their first regular season loss at home in 9 games. So High Point, that's been playing solid all season and the back end of last year here at home, are going to drop this one and fall to 5-8 overall. The Austin Peay Governors will improve to 4-6 and go to 3-4 overall on the road. The High Point men, 73-61, they're winning. The High Point men's fan, as the Panthers inside the women's team with the shot clock turned off, and Wells gets some free throws to go, and pretty surprising, something the fans here didn't expect.
Not at all, Ford, and you said it. I mean, you'd think that momentum would carry over from that UCF win, and just from the start of this game to the bitter end, things were not going in the High Point